Give the word which also names a biological classification above a family.
Phylum.
Yep.
Migration.
Order. CASA. Arrange the following cities on the Mississippi River into correct order from north to south. St. Louis, Memphis, Vicksburg, and Dubuque.
Dubuque, Vicksburg, St. Louis, Memphis.
False. Dubuque, St. Louis, Memphis, Vicksburg. Toss-up. Thousands of New Yorkers traditionally stroll down which thoroughfare on Easter, showing off their new clothes?
Main Street.
Read the answer, okay. On Fifth Avenue. You cannot order bald eagle at any U.S. restaurant. Since 1993, however, you can order this marsupial across Australia. Name this animal depicted both on Australia's coat of arms and on the planes of Qantas Airlines.
Kangaroo.
All right, bonus question, 2 parts, 6 points each, subject medicine. What is the target of inflammation in gingivitis?
The gums.
Yes. The embolus removed from an artery in an embolectomy is usually one of these obstructions.
Blood clot.
Correct. Toss-up. A facility to house psychiatric patients who do not require hospitalization but who are not ready for independent living is called what?
The rehab center?
False.
Psychiatric facility.
A halfway house. Current events. Elon Musk announced that the first commercial passenger on his planned rocket to the moon will be a Japanese billionaire. What is this rocket company called?
SpaceX.
Correct. Bonus question. 3 part, 4 points each. Identify the street that completes these monopolies. Boardwalk.
Workplace.
Correct. Baltic Avenue.
Mediterranean.
Correct. Pennsylvania Avenue and North Carolina Avenue. Pacific Avenue. Toss-up map, 30 seconds. An exterior angle at the base of an isosceles triangle has a measure of 140 degrees. Find the number of degrees in the vertex angle of the triangle.
20 degrees.
False. Month completes the line from a Thomas Hood poem, no fruit, no flowers, no leaves, no birds.
November.
Yes, correct. Right. Bonus question, 4 part, 3 points each. I'll name the battle and you name the war. Ypres.
Vietnam.
Incorrect, World War I. Palo Alto.
World War II.
The Mexican-American War. Tobruk.
World War II.
Correct. And Hugh.
Vietnam.
Correct. Toss up. In ancient Rome, the expression was the plow draws oxen. What is the more contemporary expression for doing things in the wrong order?
Putting the cart before the horse.
Correct. All right. Bonus question, 2 parts, 6 points each. What newspaper, topic is American history. What newspaper had the November 2nd, 1948 headline, Dewey defeats Truman?
Times.
The Chicago Tribune. During World War II, a famous American volunteer Air Corps in Asia was nicknamed what? The Flying Tigers. Toss-up. China was the origin of many inventions like paper and gunpowder. It did not, however, reinvent this invention we would find on the horse-drawn cart from the previous toss-up.
A wheel.
Correct. Three-part bonus question, subject fill in the blank. An animal fills an ecological blank in a community, from the French for nest.
Itch.
Correct. Giving a treat to a mouse after it presses a bar is known as blank reinforcement.
Positive.
Correct. Lithuania, Estonia, and Latvia are known as the blank states.
Baltic.
Correct. Toss-up. Tell me what Shakespeare play the following line is taken from. The play's the thing wherein I'll catch the conscience of the king.
Hamlet.
Correct. 4-part bonus question, 3 points each. Schools of thought. Which school of thought is a political theory favoring collectivism in a classless society?
Communism.
Correct. Virtue is the only worthy aim of life, an indifference to pleasure or pain.
Liberalism.
Stoicism. All knowledge is derived from experience.
Empiricism.
Correct.
That was after the.
Yeah. After that, okay.
Chad.
I heard him say it. This philosophy rejects religion and the supernatural. Self-realization is through reason.
Atheism.
Humanism. Alright, toss-up, current events. In one of the most lopsided Emmy categories, what long-running show, which gained many viewers for its anti-Trump comedy sketches, ran away from the field, capturing the Emmy for Best Variety Sketch Series?
SNL?
Correct. Is that yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
Bonus question, 2 parts, 6 points each. Subject, color. What color is the plumage of an egret?
Brown.
White. According to scientists, people with which hair color are most likely to sunburn?
Blonde.
Red. Toss-up. Name 2 men who served as President of the United States between the terms of father and son presidents.
John Adams and John Quincy Adams.
got it. I don't know, it's up to you.
George Bush and George H.W. Bush.
No. It was two men who served as president between the terms of father and son. So Thomas Jefferson, James Madison, James Monroe, or Bill Clinton. All right, toss-up. It corresponds to the ancient lands of Edom, Gilead, and Moab. Name this nation forming Israel's longest border and opposite bank of the Dead Sea.
Palestine.
Jordan. Jerome Robbins danced the title role in this biblical ballet, whose title is Les Filles Prodigies. Can you name it? The Prodigal Son. Toss-up. What figure of speech shares its name with the punctuation mark found in contractions?
Exclamation?
Incorrect. Apostrophe. All right, 30-second math question. What is the result when you divide the number 987,654,312 by 8? $123,456,789. Toss-up current events. Andres Manuel Lopez Obrador has vowed to sell the luxurious presidential plane and instead fly commercial. He's the frugal president-elect of what country?
Mexico?
Correct. Three-part bonus question, 4 points each. Subject shortened words. Diss is short for this, what you show someone if you diss him.
Disrespect?
Correct. Fan, as in a rabid sports fan, comes from which word?
Fanatic?
Correct. Pan, a camera move, comes from this longer word.
Panoramic?
Correct. Toss-up. Which farm machine produces different shaped output, either rectangular or cylindrical, depending on its type, as it compresses and ties hay into convenient bundles?
A baler?
Correct. Bonus question, 4-part, 3 points each. Subject words. What is a bibliophile? A lover of books. What two-syllable word refers to anyone who occupies land or premises illegally?
Alien?
Incorrect, a squatter. What verb means to contrive false evidence to make an innocent party appear guilty?
Framing?
Correct. A fortune teller uses what art to read your hands?
Line reading?
Correct, palmistry. Toss-up. The type of chemical bond found in magnesium oxide shares its name with the dialect of Greek in which Homer wrote. What is it?
Ionophile.
Correct. Right, 2-part bonus question, 6 points each. Subject world history. For defeating Hannibal at the Battle of Zama, ending the Second Punic War, Scipio was granted which Latin surname? During which century did Gutenberg invent a printing press?
13th.
15th. Okay, toss up. Its special relationship with the Vatican allows its clergy to elect their own bishops with papal confirmation. Name this European nation, some of whose soldiers have long guarded the Vatican itself.
Rome.
Incorrect.
Italy.
Switzerland. Toss up. I'll give you a list of chemical elements and you take their symbols and rearrange them to get a science fiction author. Iodine, arsenic, vanadium, and molybdenum. Molybdenum. Isaac Asimov. Toss up. Where would you find the Lake of Dreams, the Sea of Crises, and the Bay of Rainbows?
Canada.
Correct. On the moon. Okay. Current events. Washington Post journalist Jamal Khashoggi was brutally murdered at the Saudi Arabian consulate in October. Who is the Saudi Arabian crown prince supposedly behind the killing?
George W. Bush.
Mohammed bin Salman. Toss up. Trimming a photographic print to improve the composition is called what? Cropping. Toss up. Its charter members at its founding in 1876 were Hartford, Louisville, Boston, Chicago, St. Louis, New York, Philadelphia, and Cincinnati. All but the first three cities are still in what continuing baseball league?
MLB.
The National League.
Correct. Three-part bonus question, 4 points each. Subject film. The Sound of Music is set in what country?
Germany.
Austria. Which country has won the most Oscars for Best Foreign Language Film?
India.
Italy. Which king of the Britons must answer 3 questions before crossing a bridge in a Monty Python movie? King Arthur. Toss up. The sum of all even page numbers minus the sum of all the odd page numbers in a book equals 250. How many sheets of paper are in the book? Incorrect. 250. Right. Which aptly named Wyoming town near the Buffalo Bill Reservoir has become a tourist resort because of its location near the eastern entrance to Yellowstone National Park?
China.
Correct. Cody.
All right, thank you, B team. Part 18. that the B teams have moved themselves, you can take your places up here.
Ian, Rico, Jackson, Mississippi. I knew it was embarrassing. Look at me and I know. It literally just I was just like, that's something I've been taking. I just couldn't get it.
All right, well, very nice show, B team, very close match, and thank you so much for competing today. Now we're moving on to our second event for today, the A-team quiz bowl match between the Wildcats and the Eagles. So first I'll have Wild Rose introduce your players. Please buzz in, say your name and your grade, and if you are the captain.
Jack, senior.
Ian, junior. Joaquin, senior, captain.
Derek, junior.
Noah, senior.
Aiden, senior, captain.
Annie, senior.
All right, and we'll get our second match started for today. Come back here and press the clock. Ms. Hoffman, are you ready? All right, and?
Toss up. After serving as head of Nazi Germany's rocket program, Dr. Werner von Braun went on to become head of what?
NASA.
Correct. Bonus question, two-part, subject city. Which Midi city was traditionally placed at the center of medieval European world maps?
Vienna.
Jerusalem. Soviet tanks helped quell an uprising in which Eastern European world capital in 1956?
Warsaw.
Toss-up. What is the study of the large pieces of the Earth's surface that move around?
Tectonic.
Yeah. Yeah.
I heard what you said. Yes, tectonic.
Remember when it's flashing, you're the second one.
All right. So they got the bonus? All right. 3-part, subject art. Classify the following artworks by their style. Boulevard Montmartre at Night by Camille Pissarro.
Impressionist.
Correct. The Bullfight by Francisco Goya.
Reformist.
Romanticism. And Odalisque with a Slave by Jean-Auguste Dominique Anga.
Realism.
Neoclassicism. Toss-up. What Greek god gave the golden touch to King Midas so that everything he touched, even his wine, would turn to gold?
Apollo.
Incorrect. Dionysius. 4. Toss-up. At the coronation of a British monarch, what person presides over the ceremony?
Oh,
Incorrect.
the bishop.
Can you be more specific?
The bishop of England.
Archbishop of Canterbury. Toss-up. An analog clock's minute hand sweeps out a full circle in an hour, but what is its angular velocity in degrees per minute?
Six.
Correct. Bonus question, 4-part, subject astronomy. Seen between the stars of Orion's sword is M42, one of these clouds of hydrogen gas.
A nebula.
Correct. The star Spica marks a stalk of wheat in which zodiac maiden's hand? Virgo. The beehive cluster is on this zodiac constellation's carapace.
Cancer.
Correct. In ancient mythology, they were sisters of the Pleiades, like them were placed among the stars. Name this group.
Gemini.
Correct. Pleiades. Okay, toss up, current event. Iran's Revolutionary Guards say they fired missiles at the eastern part of what country, targeting the ringleaders of the deadly attack on a military parade in Abbas?
Iran. Oh, sorry, Pakistan.
Syria. Toss up. Because it is 6 times saltier than the ocean, swimmers there can actually read a book.
Dead Sea.
Correct. Bonus question, 2-part, subject life science. Russian thistle is one type of this large weed that breaks off and drifts along with the wind.
Tumbleweed.
Correct. What do katydids disguise themselves as to avoid predators?
Leaves.
Correct. Toss up. Because Dr. Hudson taught physics at the University of Houston for many years, he gained permanent status as an employee there. What is the name for this? Correct. 3-part bonus question, subject sports. In this pro sport, a standard gauge of speed is whether a player can cover 40 yards in under 4.5 seconds.
Football.
Correct. Which official sits in an elevated chair at a tennis match?
Net watcher.
Umpire. What sport's 6th-player award goes to the best man off the bench during the regular season?
Basketball.
Correct. Toss-up. Only 2 of the Gospels narrate the birth of Jesus. Name the only Gospel that relates the Annunciation of Mary by the angel Gabriel and the visitation by Mary to her cousin Elizabeth, mother-to-be of John the Baptist.
Luke.
Correct. Toss-up, 4-part, subject entomology. The Latin word meaning of fire is the name for which general type of rock?
Exam.
Correct. What form of expression peculiar to a given language is derived from the Greek word meaning peculiarity?
Victoria.
Idiom. Which verb meaning to annoy, weary, or trouble comes from the medieval German for disgust? Irk. Which synonym for humiliating comes from the Latin for disgrace or dishonor? Ignominious. Toss-up. From 1938 to 1952, Walter Gropius served as the chairman of which department at Harvard?
Math.
Incorrect.
Business.
Architecture. According to Sir Richard Steele, which pastime is to the mind what exercise is to the body?
Reading.
Correct. Bonus question, two-part, subject dates. Name any one year that Francisco Franco was in power, either as head of government or as head of state.
1960.
Correct. In what year was UNESCO formed?
1952.
1945. Toss-up current event. Using a 3D laser mapping technology, scientists have discovered more than 60,000 structures built by which ancient culture that have been swallowed up by vegetation in the tropical lowlands of Central America.
Maya.
Correct. Three-part bonus question, subject musicals. I'll name the song and you name the show. My Favorite Things.
Sound of Music.
Correct. Matchmaker.
Guys and Dolls.
Fiddler on the Roof. I Have Confidence.
Guys and Dolls.
The Sound of Music. Toss-up. The following names are associated with what kind of hereditary ruling groups? Tang, Sung, Han, and Ming.
Chinese dynasties.
Correct. Four-part bonus question, subject home. Answers include the word home. Where Thomas Wolfe's angel looked.
Homeward.
Correct. Becoming law on January 1st, 1863, it allowed anyone to file for 160 acres of free land.
Homestead.
Correct. Between the last turn and the winning post in a race course.
Homestretch.
Correct. Let like be cured by like is the basis for which medicine philosophy?
Homesickness.
Homeopathic. Toss-up. The word Ouija, as in Ouija board, is formed from the word yes in two languages. Name them.
Italian and Arabic.
Incorrect. French and German. Toss-up. The number of eligible voters who actually show up and cast ballots in an election is referred to by what word?
Voter turnout.
Correct. Two-part bonus question, subject artists. Identify these paintings by their artist. The Old Guitarist.
Picasso.
Correct. Saturn devouring his son.
Michelangelo.
Goya. Toss-up. Math, 30 seconds. The ratio of the volumes of two smaller right circular cylinders is 27 to 125. What is the ratio of their altitudes?
Uh, 1 and 5.
3 to 5. Toss-up current event. The European Extremely Large Telescope will be the largest optical telescope ever constructed. It's currently being built in which South American country?
Chile.
Correct. Three-part bonus question, subject indigenous peoples. Where do or did these people live? The Inuit.
The Arctic. Alaska.
Correct. The Etruscans.
The Middle East.
Italy. Aborigines.
Africa.
Australia. Toss-up. The first was waged by Rome to prevent Carthaginian supremacy in Sicily. The second involved Carthaginian advances in Spain. The third ended in the complete destruction of Carthage. Name this series of wars.
Punic Wars.
Correct. Bonus question, 4-part, subject physical science. All units of pressure have units of force divided by units of what?
Area.
Correct. Whose mind was first able to reach out to theorize that black holes may evaporate?
Stephen Hawking.
Correct. You throw a ball vertically upward. What is the momentum of the ball at its highest point?
0.
Correct. Two parallel wires that carry currents that are opposite of each other will do what?
Attract.
Repel. Toss-up. They were the chief building materials throughout the ancient Near East. A foremost example of their use was in the Ishtar Gate in Babylon. They were made of clay and molded into blocks. Usually they were sun-dried. Name them.
Bricks.
Correct. 2-part bonus question. Subject, countries bordering Brazil. This country that borders Brazil also borders Central America.
Venezuela.
Colombia. Name the largest oil producer in South America.
Venezuela.
Correct. Toss-up. When chalk is dropped in an acid, a large quantity of bubbles results. What adjective refers to the production of bubbles through a chemical reaction?
Fizz.
Incorrect. Effervescent. Toss-up. With the exception of hydrogen, what element forms the largest number of known compounds?
Oxygen.
Incorrect.
Carbon.
Correct. 3-part bonus question, subject literature. The laboratory of Dr. Henry Jekyll is in what city?
London.
Correct. According to the Iliad, which Greek hero came up with the idea of the Trojan horse?
Perseus.
Odysseus or Ulysses. In 2002, who became the first fictional character awarded an honorary fellowship by the Royal Society of Chemistry?
Dr. Frankenstein.
Sherlock Holmes. Toss-up. During the late classical period in the 4th century BC, which nationality was the first to create portraits in the fullest sense? This group of people is known for its archaic, classical, and Hellenistic art periods.
Greece.
Correct. Bonus question, 4 parts, social studies is your subject. The majority of the population of Kashmir practices which religion?
Hinduism.
Islam. What is an important meeting between world leaders usually called?
Summit.
Correct. Which public official can order an inquest into instances of sudden, violent, or suspicious death?
The Pope.
The coroner. Change one letter in voodoo and you get what related practice of magical healing and control?
No, don't say it. Moodoo.
Toss-up current event. Mexican authorities send federal troops into what crime-ridden West Coast city, saying local officers have been corrupted by organized crime and it is hurting the tourist economy?
Tijuana.
Correct. Acapulco. Toss-up. Which term refers to Greek art and culture over a span of 3 centuries, beginning with the death of Alexander the Great in 323 BC?
Hellenic.
Correct. 2-part bonus question, subject technology. What type of engine powers most trucks and buses?
Diesel.
Correct. In 1900, whose Institute of Technology was founded in Pittsburgh?
Thomas Edison.
Andrew Carnegie. Toss-up. The semi-nomadic tribe known as the Hyksos conquered and ruled which ancient culture?
Mongolia.
The Egyptians. Toss-up. The American First Day Cover Society is one of many organizations devoted to which hobby?
Model railroading.
Correct.
Reading books.
Stamp collecting.
Very close match, guys. Wonderful job. That's the most important part.
Awesome. Jingle the Britneys.
I really